Hello everyone, I am back with another video. This video will be a craft with me, and I am going to attempt to make a porch sign, so we will see how that goes. But before we get started, I just wanted to welcome you to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Jen. If you are returning, thank you so much for coming back. So let's go ahead and get started. Let me show you the supplies that I have gathered. And as I said, this is going to be a porch sign, or I'm going to attempt to make a porch sign anyway. So I just wanted to use things that I had around the house, with the exception of a couple things that I did purchase, and it's these stencils from the Dollar Tree. So I got two different kinds because I was not sure how I was going to make the sign, but I think the stencils are going to work out, but we will see as we go along. It is just going to be a work in progress. I'm just not really sure. I have kind of a creation in my mind, but if you've watched any of my craft with me videos, you will know that I start out with an idea, but it never winds up being the same. I always change it as I go along. So I do have the two stencils there. These aren't actually stencils. These are just letters. So let me show you what else I've gathered here. I have this board, and I found this board. I actually purchased it as a joke, and I think I got it at an an online estate sale for like $1. And so it's just this big wooden paddle, and initially I was going to cut it down to make like a cutting board decoration for my kitchen, but I got the idea to make a sign for my fall and Halloween display on my porch, so that is what I'm going to go with. And I have some paints here I just grabbed from my stash. It's the Martha Stewart's vintage decor paint. This is in River Rock color, and this is eucalyptus. Hopefully those will look good on the board. We'll see as we get started. And I pulled this stuff out of my stash. I'm going to hopefully come up with a little sign that is going to say pumpkins 5 cents. So we'll see. I have some orange paint here, and I'll probably paint this little pumpkin orange and maybe distress it. And then I have this old bow here made out of, I don't even know what this is called. It's not raffia, but I don't know. It came in one of the box lots I got from an online auction, and so we will see if that goes into the design. And then I have these cute bells that I may or may not use. They're like little acorn bells, and they are so cute. I thought I would try to use those. So that is the idea I have. I'm going to put pumpkins down the board and then 5 cents. Hopefully that is what I'm going to go with. So let's go ahead and get started. As I said, I will be starting out with the Martha Stewart paints, and this is in the color eucalyptus, and it's a very nice, I don't know, muted green color, and I have not used it in a while, probably a couple years, so it's taking me a little bit of time to get it all stirred up. But I thought I would just pour it right on the board and start with the first coat of paint. As you can see, it is really covering nicely, and it suggests to wait 2 hours and then do the second coat. But later on you'll see that I just go with the one coat. I probably should have done a second coat because that red paint there kind of comes through later on. But I was just trying to hurry up. I am a patient person, but when it comes to doing projects, I don't know what it is. I just want to get it finished. I decided to go with a voiceover on this project. I have tried doing projects where I talk throughout the video, and it is not an easy task. I really admire people who can do that. It is difficult to try to make sure you have your project in the video screen and try to focus on doing your project and then talking about it at the same time. So sometimes it's just easier to focus on the project and then go back with the voiceover. Let me know in the comments down below if you prefer the voiceover as opposed to talking and creating the project at the same time. I could go either way, but let me know your thoughts. Here I am removing this leather strip. I was going to leave it on, but then decided it just did not make sense to leave it on. So I put it aside, and I do wind up using it later on, but it was kind of difficult to get off that handle. This probably isn't the most ideal project to work on while filming a video since the board was so long, but I did my best and I really wanted to share this process with you guys. Here I am finishing up the first coat, and then I let the board dry for a couple hours. So here I am a few hours later just looking at the stencils. As I said, I purchased these stencils at the Dollar Tree, and they actually worked out really great for this project. There's only one set of letters, so you'll see later on that I just use the P twice, but that is okay. I think next time I will probably pick up a couple packs of this if I do other projects. I just think these stencils worked out so nicely. Here I am just trying to figure out how I want it to look once I paint the letters on. I'm still trying to decide if I want to use the little sign, because my idea was to have the sign say pumpkins 5 cents, but I'm just not liking how the sign is coming out with the 5 cents and the little plaque. So I'm just moving things around, trying to see what looks good and what makes sense. Now I am ready to space out the lettering, and I'm just trying to make it look as uniform as possible. I don't want a huge gap in between some of the letters. So I'm just spacing it out here. I'm using my measuring tape, and it takes me a little bit of time, but I finally get a good pattern down. Here I am just using some washi tape to hold the letters down so I can paint them, and it will help to hold them so they do not move around. I am just using a random letter here, since I will have to reuse the letter P, and I'll just use that so I can keep the spacing uniform on the letters. Here I am realizing that I put the letters too close to the left-hand side, so I had them spaced out properly, going up and down the board, but just not going from left to right. So I'm just kind of eyeballing it and moving them over and double checking to make sure that I am keeping the spacing uniform going up and down. So all finished with the spacing, and I think it looks pretty good. So I think I am ready to start painting the stencils. I thought I was going to use the Martha Stewart River Rock, but once I put the paint on, it was just too close to the eucalyptus color, and so I had to go grab something else. So I decided on using white because I thought that would show up nicely on the green color, and it definitely did. thought I would speed up the process a little bit, so I got out my heat gun and just started drying it. So that actually helped out quite a bit to cut down on the time. I have them all dried, and so I pull off the first letter, and I thought they turned out so good. I was really impressed with how nicely it turned out. I like the distressed look, so I'm taking the sanding block and just distressing the edges and just making it look a little more worn, and then I will go over the top of the letters and make them look a little more distressed. It was so funny. I was driving myself nuts. I just kept looking at how I spelled pumpkins just to make sure that I did not misspell it. And I have done that before in a baby book, and I had to recreate a page because I misspelled something. Let me know in the comments below if you have ever misspelled something and you had to redo a project. As I was going over the U, it was not completely dry, so it did make a few smudge marks on the paint, but that is not a problem. I was able to wipe it off, and it turned out just fine. It actually added a little bit more of a distressed look. I think I forgot to show the wax when I was going over the supplies that I was using, but I'm using this buttercream wax just to seal in the paint since I am going to have this on my porch. Now I am trying to decide how I am going to decorate this board, and as you can tell, I decided not to use the 5-cent sign, and I want to use this bow. It is a vintage bow. Again, I don't know what it's made out of. If you know what type of material that is, if you could leave it in the comments below, I would greatly appreciate it. And here is where I decide to use those leather straps, and I just decide to tie the acorn bells onto the strap, and I thought it turned out very nice. Here I am adjusting the bells to make sure they hang properly. I'm trying to tie them onto the leather strip, and my apologies for not being in the screen view. It is kind of difficult sometimes to work on something and make sure you're in the screen, as I said before, but I try my best, and hopefully you still get the idea here of what I'm doing. I was trying to figure out how I was going to attach the bow and the bells. I did not want to use hot glue, so I just came up with the best solution. I put the leather strip through the hole there and just wrapped it around and tied it on, and it seemed to work. The bow is still on the board and has not fallen off. Here I am standing the board up just to make sure the bow stays on. Here it is on my porch. I really think it turned out nicely. I think it's adorable. Let me know in the comments below if you liked the final design, and also let me know if you are interested in seeing the rest of my fall and Halloween decor, and I will do a video on that. hopefully you enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching.